is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee.
Hello, everybody, and welcome into Mornings on Main Street. I am your host, the intern. Joe is doing a half marathon, and we don't know why he's running. We don't know who's after him, but we'll keep you updated on that. I will be your host, like I said, and what we're gonna do today is I thought it would be cool to feature some podcasts that me and Joe and Greg Pogue have done. We tape them the Omni every Tuesday. We push them out on Thursday. And we've never really mentioned them on the show. So I thought it would be cool to show you guys. So once we come out of break, you're going to be listening to Vicki Yates. She's going to tell us about her visit to the White House. Yes, the Vicki Yates. I knew her from 5th grade or 7th grade. I can't remember which one. She came to my school and inspired me. So I'm sure she will inspire you as well. I hope I don't disappoint you, not being Joe, because intern's just as good. All right, so we'll take a break. We'll come right back, and we'll listen to Vicki. All right, we'll be back.
I can't think of anything more important than buying and selling a new home, except for one thing, and that's finding a new home for a displaced pet here in the Middle Tennessee area.
We got Mr. Charlie out at Lucky Farms Animal Rescue, a sweet little pit bull named Luna at Mount Juliet Animal Control. Please help us find her a home. We're getting him back to on all 4 paws, but we need someone to take him home.
Hunter Briley, Regal Realty Group, proud sponsor of Pet of the Week. He was the first one to hop on board, 4 or 5 months ago. Let's bring in our good friend Hunter Briley from Regal Realty Group, who joins us this morning. My man, how are you, buddy?
He doesn't even know he's missing a leg. He's that sweet. I know somebody out there has a place in their home for him.
Thank you so much, Joe, for all your help and work that we're doing on this. I'm so excited to be part of Pet of the Week every single week.
Love you, Big Joe. Love you bunches. See you.
Hero, man. That's so great. Oh, I just love people.
As you can tell, we're all over the map here.
That's fine.
In 2011, invited to the White House to visit and interview President Barack Obama one-on-one.
Yes. Man, seriously, that was just like when my news director called me in the office and she said, "What are you doing Thursday?" And I said, "Oh, coming to work, I guess." She said, "Would you like to go to Washington?" I'm like, Washington. She said DC. Like, I'm like, Washington, where is that? She said DC. And I said, for what? She said, you have the opportunity to interview Barack Obama. And I just like jumped out of my chair and I'm like, are you kidding me? She said, no. So 2 days later, she asked me that on a Tuesday. 2 days later, we were on our way to the White House. I was just, seriously, I was blown away because, first of all, it's Barack Obama. And just to be at the White House and to have to go through all the protocols and, we were sitting in this room and there were cameras from all over. We couldn't bring a camera because they would shoot it for you and then give it to you. So they wouldn't let you bring your own camera.
Were you in a room with other journalists waiting? Was it like a cattle call? Like, all right, Vicki, you're next.
I was first. And then, but the reporters were in another room. They would let us do it by ourselves.
Okay.
But there were still cameras and camera people. So yeah, we came in and I sat there and I was like, okay, I'll just sit here and wait. What am I going to do? And my back was to the door. And I figured he's the president. When he comes, they're going to either like blow a trumpet or something.
Yeah.
Rose petals.
Rose petals, right. Something to let me know that he's coming. And so I'm like, okay, it's getting close. And all of a sudden, I feel a touch on my back. And he says, hello, Vicki, how are you? I'm Barack. And I'm like, oh my God. I just thought, please, God, let me get through this without without collapsing. And he sat down and put his mic on. They put his mic on. And he said, where are you from? And I said, I'm Detroit. And he said, so do you still have family there? I said, yeah, I have cousins. I said, and my sister's still there. And he said, what is your sister's name? And I said, Michelle. He said, okay. So anyway, I go through these questions and he gives me answers. We were supposed to get 7 minutes. He gave us 10. We got 10 minutes. And then I said, it was time for me to go. And I said, well, it was such an honor to meet you. And he said, well, I feel the same way. He said, and be sure and tell Michelle I said hello.
Oh, come on.
So he remembered her name.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, so when I go out and I meet up with Sandy, our news director, I'm like, oh my God. And immediately the next thing I did was get on my phone and tell my sister, Barack Obama said your name.
Oh, that is so great. I just got to think the anticipation of that day. Then you get to the White House. I would have been a nervous wreck.
I was at first, but then once I got there, I'm like, pull it together. You have to give yourself this pep talk. Like, come on, you can't drop the ball. You got to keep it going.
Did you have anybody with you?
No, it was just my news director, just the two.
Oh, she was with. Okay, good. Okay,
just the two of us. So it was quite the experience.
Just
but it was
the
positive.
two of us.
Just the two of us.
So there we go. That was Vicki Yates. She joined us at the Omni on Tuesdays. We tape there. Thursdays, we drop each podcast. The official 615 podcast. You can find it on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, anywhere. Literally, you type in the word podcast. Just type in the official 615, and you'll see it. And you'll see us. Well, you'll see Joe and Greg and the guests. We'll come back with another guest from the 615 podcast, Rudy Kalis, and see what he's been doing. He's been staying busy, and what he's also been doing is really powerful. Has a great message, something that we all want to be envious of as far as after work goes, getting into new endeavors. So we'll take a break and we'll come back with some Rudy.
Every year, it costs Tennessee more than $15 million to clean up roadside litter. It's time to keep your trash to yourself and our roadways clear, because nobody trashes Tennessee.
It was just a few drinks. I'm good. I thought it was good.
After every game, we always have a few. It's no big deal. It was no big deal.
Hey. I can hold my liquor. I thought I could hold my liquor.
Is your roof in need of repairs? Maybe it's time for a full roof replacement. If so, choose Middle Tennessee's #1 rated roofer. Tim Leeper Roofing has provided the Nashville area with outstanding residential and commercial services for nearly 2 decades. And with hundreds of 5-star reviews, Tim Leeper Roofing has satisfied thousands of homeowners. To schedule a free and honest estimate, find us online at timleeperroofing.com.
Yeah, still got the band going. Still got the band going. Now we're going to listen to another well-known sports anchor, Rudy Kalis. He's been quite busy, so here he is, Rudy Kalis.
And above that, though, everything he's done in the community and continues to do in the community, and just a good friend to so many, including us, Joe.
Correct, he is. And took one phone call to get him out here today to talk to us. And we take these 30 to 35 minutes, but we could spend 30 days talking to Rudy.
Rudy, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Great to be with you guys. You've been friends for a long time.
How you doing? What are you doing these days?
Well, you know what? I'm pretty busy, and I think Joe knows I'm part of a prison ministry. I go to Riverbend Maximum Security Prison 4 days a week, and I spend time with guys in gang units on death row and regular inmates. I've met several guys that have come up to me and said, "Man, you covered me when I was playing ball in high school." And I said, "Really? What happened?" He said, 5 minutes of stupid, 5 minutes of anger, whatever different story.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I'm in here for 10 years. So it's a great, great place for me to be. I just love it.
How did you get involved with Men of Valor?
Well, because when I retired, people said, "What are you going to do?" And I said, I have no idea. The good Lord showed me where to be. And I was at a speaking engagement, and there was a guy there who had been an intern of mine 25 years ago, Tevin Peterson. And I said, "Tevin, what are you doing?" He said, "I work with Men of Valor. We go into Riverbend Prison." I said, "I want to go." Because I'd done some stories. I did a documentary in there. I covered the longest yard. In 1984, behind the walls, the old prison, we went in there with a camera because they had a championship football game amongst the inmates.
Wow.
They beat each other to a pulp because they just soon go inside of the infirmary than they would to go anywhere else. So there's guards with shotguns, and we covered that. I even used Michael Jackson music, "Beat It," underneath there. And so I'd been inside, and I said, "I want to go." And the minute I walked in, and the man, these are my people. I got some street cred. I walked in, guys, "Hey man, Rudy, how you doing, man? Where's your helicopter? We could fly over on that sucker and get out of here." So we start talking sports, and then we talk about life and faith.
Do you remember the first person since your retirement when you went over to the prison and talked to? What was that like? The very first person?
Oh, no. It was a group of guys.
Okay.
I was in there for a group in an evening. It's like a Bible study that I went there. No, I walked in the door, and guys, "Hey man," or whatever. So because I've been here around so long, and they have limited television access. So I was so comfortable. You know, you'd appreciate, both of you guys. I literally got to the point where I said I spent 45 years in broadcasting, and it was around belligerent coaches and politicians that I loved it. All it did was prepare me to go in there, because you go in with gang units. I mean, we had Crips and Bloods and Aryans and Vice Lords, and they couldn't send them all in at one time. And we talked to different groups, and they push you hard and try to intimidate you, and you'll never come back, and you keep coming back. And then they soften up. And I mean, a lot of these guys are hurting inside, and eventually most of them get out. Do you want them as a neighbor? Well, that's our thing. You put some faith into a man, you make him stand up and feel better about himself, and you got a chance for a guy to kind of, recidivism goes down, way down.
Many of them are in there for things they did then that they wouldn't be put into prison for now.
We had one guy he got caught with some pot, 10 years for getting caught.
Yeah, that's a slap on the wrist.
That's a slap on the wrist. Yeah. And that really trouble. And sometimes they'll tell you the punishment doesn't fit the crime. Depends where you are, who's the hanging judge, and throws everybody. We go to death row. Half of the guys over half the guys on death row come from Shelby County, and Memphis has a real reputation in the old days for guys going to death row. I mean, it's just a different place. So the guys that are from over there.
Is that tougher to talk to are you one-on-one with the death row guys?
I am I am one-on-one, and we're also together. Every Sunday night we have a Bible study where we talk about that, guys on death row. And guys can come out. Not everybody can come out of death row. On death row, you've got an A, B, and C. A guys can come out of their cells and into a pod area, common area, microwaves. They can mingle amongst each other. They've got a wood shop where they can do some things. B guys have messed up in some way. They can't come out except take showers. 23 or 24, shackled. C guys, legs shackled, hand shackled. They don't come out at all. So it's various guys. The guys that come to us, they all behave. It's the most peaceful unit in that whole place. Because the guys in there, they will teach us more about race relationships because they have literally said, we have to get along. We are black, white, Latino. We have to get along. And so they do.
Rudy Kalis, our guest on the official 615 podcast. Do you miss the gig? I know you've been asked that probably 14,000 times, but do you miss the grind of every day trying to put out a newscast or sportscast and all that goes into it?
Well, I love it that Joe is here because he understands grind is a good word because it becomes incredible grind. I would think Sundays now when I sit there and watch a game, which you remember, we'd get to work at 9:30 in the morning for a home game and leave at midnight. And you're just humping the whole day long. You're going wild. You're trying to put stuff and you put that long sportscast together. You think it all revolves. And the thing I miss the most is flying in the helicopter and going to these little communities where they just get a big kick. You fly to, we flew to Red Boiling Springs. You pump sunlight up to Red Boiling Springs. And we pull out in there and some old boy in overalls poked me in the chest and said, this biggest thing since Flat and Scruggs did a concert here, boy. So you can't believe that you've shown up. And so, which Joe knows because he's that way. The highlights that we showed, I think half of it was the people.
Yeah.
And we try to have a little fun with somebody on the sideline and then a couple of plays from the game, but let the whole community feel good about who they are. And then when you take off and you got 5,000 people waving at you, and we shouldn't ought to have done it, but we barreled down the middle of the field in that helicopter, bank that sucker and fly off again. They just get a big kick out.
I was at a game. It was Harpeth taking on somebody, but it was at Harpeth, and you flew in, and I was working at another TV station at the time, and the pay announcer said, hey, we're going to pause the game. Everybody can wave at Rudy. I'll never forget Rudy looking at the field and the officials during the game. They paused it, waving at you in the helicopter as you went off. And I was like, that, my friends, is only reserved for a legend can do that.
Well, and Joe followed, a few lines there as a sports anchor at Channel 4. He first off, Channel 4 sports anchor for many, many years. And
all right. Thank you to Rudy Kalis for being kind enough to record the podcast with Big Joe Dubin and Greg Pogue. If you want to catch Greg Pogue on the radio, tune into WNSR 560 from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. All of our hot podcasts are sponsored by Wilson County Hyundai. Thank you to Payne Bone and the crew. They're amazing. If you see any Hyundais driving around, chances are they came from Wilson County Hyundai just because of the crew and the staff that Payne Bone has and manages there. So we will take a break and we will come back. The next podcast we're going to listen to is from former Channel 4 anchor Demetria Kaladimos. I believe I said that correctly. We'll be back, and that is what we'll hear. All right, stay tuned, everybody.
And they've got an e-reader, which is just, for people like me, I have grown up with a newspaper holding it in my hand. I really like that experience. But the e-reader or the press reader that Main Street has, you get to see a front page. You get to see the business stocks. You get to see all of that. But if you see a photo and it's got a little icon on the bottom, when you see that icon, that means there's a gallery there.
I love writing and journalism just on its own, and I think I learned that during the pandemic because I was covering all kinds of non-sports related things and still having fun with it, still finding out a lot of great stories. But when you can combine something I'm already interested in, have a lot of knowledge about in sports, I feel like I'm really able to combine two of my passions at the same time, and that's really rewarding for me.
And now it is. You know, I've lived here longer than I have anywhere else. And I really, really like the people of Middle Tennessee.
When did you know this was it? A year in, 2 years in?
I think when I didn't have to buy a shovel and I threw away my winter coat, you know, and we didn't own a snowblower. No, probably about 5 years in, to be really realistic. And I had a couple of really decent offers through the years. I love to tell this story because it shows how bad I am at making decisions. Somewhere along the line, I'm thinking early 90s, maybe, ABC was starting, all the networks were starting these all night long things to compete with CNN. And, you know, these poor people that were up at 4 a.m. anchoring with no one else watching. Well, got flown up there, got offered one of those all night long on ABC gigs. And I decided, no, I like Nashville too much. I think I'm just going to stay put. And guess who took the job? Anderson Cooper. So, not that I'm saying I would be Anderson Cooper today,
right?
But you know, it was a springboard for him.
But back in that day, though, it was the springboard. I mean, it was everybody to get up there. For you not to do that, that took some personal inside thinking of yourself. Like, what am I doing here?
Exactly. And like, do I want to really? I want to live in a house that I go back to every night. You know, I don't want to be one of those hotel kind of people living. And I just kind of knew that was not my thing. It might have been for a couple of years. And, you know, hindsight, whatever.
It's whatever.
Genuine Human Productions.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about that.
Genuine Human is my little, not so little in some ways, production company that I started in 2000. Around 2000, I thought that the sort of stories that I wanted to pursue on television weren't being done, either subject matter-wise, length-wise, stylistically. You know, there are a lot of stories that you simply cannot delve into in a minute 20. So I thought, well, I'll just start my own thing. So I did, you know, gather together a little cookie jar money for equipment and started doing documentaries in my spare time. And I've been doing it ever since. So what is this? Almost 22. So 22 years. And Genuine Human is a great name. The late, great Will Campbell, philosopher, theologian, brilliant man. If listeners don't know anything about Will Campbell, look him up. He was working with me and a couple other people at United Methodist Communications. We did a once-a-week show called News Odyssey, which was way ahead of its time. It was covering religion as news. Anyway, Will was there once a week to do commentary. And so we'd spend time in the green room, you know, and talk and stuff. And he had written a book that I just devoured and loved. So I brought my copy one day and I said, can you please, you know, sign this? I don't want to be Gurmy, but sign this. And he wrote in there, to Demetria, a genuine human being. And I thought, man, that is high praise.
Right.
If I ever have a company or any reason to use that, you know, I'm going to do that. So in a way, it's perfect for what I do, because my little sort of tagline is real people and true stories. Genuine human.
It's long form. You know, I hate to use the word long form, but in print, it's enterprise type stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway, you're not limited by the parameters of print. They could only be so many inches, or
no, exactly.
or on broadcast.
And it's like most of my stuff have been quirky, weird, very Nashville centric stories that would.
Sounds
never
like Joe
make it.
Dubin. Quirky
He should
and
be
weird.
my next subject.
Right.
Huh? Quirky, weird, Nashville. You tick all the boxes. But it's been a terrific creative outlet. So for a long time, I was doing, you know, in all of my spare time, Genuine Human stuff. In addition to Channel 4, you know, how many hours a week I hesitate to even count.
Right.
And I'm still doing Genuine Human stuff. I've got so many pots on the stove, it's a little ridiculous.
I remember you fighting for time, and when we worked together at Channel 4, I'm going to mention it's the core civic story.
Yeah.
And you needed I never forget, it was 6 minutes long. I remember wow, it's got to be no longer than 2 minutes. And I'm like, I'm thinking, who set the parameter for this?
Right.
These dumb ass consultants that come in and here I go, Dimitri, I'm going to go down this
That's
path.
all right.
And I'm thinking they don't know storytelling. They just see get in and out, move on. And you had this wonderful story and you fought tooth and nail for it. I was like, let her tell the story.
I did. And we ended up with a compromise. Okay. And this is me and my negotiator best. If you won't let me have 6 minutes in a row on one night, let me have 3 nights of 2 minutes on the same thing. Oh, no one will be interested. We're on to other things. I beg to differ. 60 Minutes has been in the top 10 of Nielsen since the day it signed on.
Right.
And it's 50 plus years old. So if their attention span is really that splintered and that short, why is 60 so incredibly important and to this day sort of the gold standard?
Is part of you, when you're doing these documentaries on your own, part of you because you had been beaten down like I was in the TV world, oh man, we're at 12 minutes now. And then you're like, what? I can go as long as I want.
Exactly. I cannot tell you the freedom. But then I also rein myself in and say, okay, I have the luxury of going as long as I want, but I'm going to have someone with really discerning eyes and ears look at this and say, it's dragging, or, you could cut that. Or I don't always listen to them, of course, Greg, but I'm like, yeah, your opinion is, at least acknowledged.
Talking Trash, the show that's going to end littering. Brought to you by Nobody Trashes Tennessee. How was that? That fast part, the end felt rushed. I'm going to do it one more time, Claire. Talking Trash, the show that's going to end littering. Brought to you by Nobody Trashes Tennessee. Ooh, how was that? Claire, that sound about right? It felt good to me. She feels me. Nobody trashes Tennessee on my watch.
It's just a few cocktails at happy hour. It's just a few cocktails at happy hour.
Really good try. There aren't any cops around.
I didn't think there were any cops around.
I drink and drive all the time.
Sir, you've been in a serious crash. I need you to hang on, okay? Cover your hands, sir. Where you are right now? Now.
Hello. How's it going, everyone? Just a reminder, Joe is in New Orleans running. We're not sure what he's running from, but we're still trying to get updates and figure it out. He will be back tomorrow. Thank you for listening to all those podcasts. I want to remind you again, the official 615 podcast. You can find them on any podcast. You get your podcasts, and it's sponsored by Wilson County Hyundai and our best friends at with Painbone and his crew. I now am going to show you Pet of the Week of last week. It's a great one, so enjoy. And then right after, we're going to bring in our best friend, the show's best friend, your best friend, Jason Goolsby. He's going to save me on this hosting thing, which I don't know how Joe does. So we'll be back with Pet of the Week, or after the Pet of the Week with Jason Goolsby.
What's up, everybody? It's Hunter Briley once again with your Pet of the Week. We're so excited to be partnered with Big Joe Dubin and Main Street Media. We are excited about this one. We've got our friend Stella at Old Friends Sanctuary right over here in Mount Juliet. Check her out. She's absolutely amazing. She does need to be a one-puppy family, so just remember that. But don't let that stop you from going and giving her a forever home. Joe, take it away.
Okay, Hunter, thank you. This is Noel from Old Friends Senior Dog Sanctuary, and this week we're going to spotlight Stella, this beautiful German Shepherd. Noel, tell us about Stella.
Yeah, so Stella is about 8 years old. She's a full German Shepherd. She's been here at the Old Friends Senior Dog Sanctuary since the end of October 2021. She is probably the most energetic dog that we currently have here at the sanctuary. She loves to go for walks. She loves to run. She'll run on a leash with you, so if you're a runner, she'd be a great running companion. She loves squeaky toys of all types, and she's just a big old love bug. Stella would probably be best as an only dog. We don't think that she's ever been raised or been around other dogs before. When dogs walk past her here at the sanctuary, she does bark at them, but it is possible that with the right training, she may be dog friendly in the future. But right now, we think she'd just be best as an only.
She's extremely friendly.
She's so friendly. She loves people, like loves to be loved on, loves to have her belly rubbed, her ears scratched, just likes to be in company with a human.
And she likes her tennis ball.
Loves it. Anything that is round or floppy or squeaky, that's her favorite thing to play with.
How old do we think she is?
She's about 8. That's what we think. But she doesn't act 8. She acts quite a bit younger.
And explain the process, if you don't mind, about Old Friends and how things go about here.
Yeah, so we do a Geezer Guardian Forever Foster program. It's very similar to an adoption in the sense that we do hope that our dogs are placed into their forever homes, but we do retain legal ownership for 2 reasons. One is that we provide and cover the cost of medical care for the dog's life, and then if for any reason the family can no longer care for their dog, their old friends, they come back here to us at the sanctuary rather than being rehomed or going to a shelter or animal control. So they always have a home here with us.
So forever, their medical is taken care of?
Forever, at no cost to the Geezer Guardian, which is what we call our forever foster families. If someone's interested, they can go to our website, which is ofsds.org.
It's on the screen right there for you. Okay.
And then at the top of the page, there's a tab that says The Dogs, and under that, there's a link that says Be a Geezer Guardian. And you can read more about our program there and complete an application to be Stella's Geezer Guardian. Or we have about 100 dogs from which to choose if you're interested in maybe a smaller dog or maybe a less active dog. We have all different types of senior dogs who are looking for their forever home.
Oh, that's beautiful. Noel, thank you so much. You guys are lifesavers and angels here at Old Friends. Thank you.
Thank you. What a good girl, Stella.
Thanks, Big Joe. That was Stella at Old Friends Sanctuary. Please go check her out. She needs a loving home. She is a sweet, sweet baby. If you guys need any answers about real estate, whether it be commercial, investment, or just buying or selling a home, I'm happy to help. Hit me up on that Gmail account right there or that phone number, and we'll get right to it. Thanks so much.
Welcome to Main Street Nashville. Our newly launched e-edition allows you to read our paper online from anywhere in the world. You are in control of how and when you read or listen. Subscribers can access our e-edition online at mainstreet-nashville.com or on a smartphone or tablet using our Main Street Nashville app. In a browser, today's and all previous issues are available at the click of a button. Main Street Nashville is fully responsive. Click and drag your cursor to move the paper left and right. To see photos and text at a larger scale, double-click on a page. Clicking print will allow you to print an article or crossword at your convenience. View photo galleries and videos by clicking the icon on an image. click play on videos once the screen appears. Main Street Nashville's e-edition is a simple, new way to interact with and consume news. Access the full e-edition of Main Street Nashville on your computer, tablet, or smartphone. Read whatever you want, whenever you want. If you have any questions, we're here to help. Call us at 615-527-4104 or email us at news@mainstreetnash.com.
All right. Nice job, band. All right. Welcome back to Mornings on Main Street. I'm your host today, the intern. Joe's out of town running in New Orleans. Again, we're not sure why. No, actually, he's doing a half marathon, and it's really cool that he's doing that. But while he isn't here, I know who is here, and he is a recurring guest on the show. Let's bring him in right now. Mr. Goolsby, hello. How you doing?
What's up?
What's up? How you doing, man? I actually saw for the first time ever yesterday Mama's Boy. Or is that what it is? No, not Mama's Boy. You're My Boy.
Oh, yeah.
Sandler?
You talking about old school?
No, it's what is it? That's what it was. Andy Samberg, Adam Sandler. They do the what?
Oh yeah.
You don't talk. You don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I think so. There was one called Grandma's Boy. Do you remember that one? The game.
Yes.
The game that was a good one.
Yeah, definitely. Those string of ones that he had. Did you see? My favorite personally was Jack and Jill. I'm just kidding.
That was horrible.
I know.
Yeah, that movie was almost. I just love the whole theater experience, man. Like,
right.
I love buttered popcorn. Obviously,
is that your go-to when do you always go to the concessions and get popcorn?
I do, and like. I remember one time we were kind of like on a budget, and I told my wife, I said, "Now we probably we should eat dinner at home, and then that way we can do popcorn at the movie theater." And she goes, "Well, why don't we just go out to dinner and not get popcorn?" And I'm like, "What is this heresy you speak?"
That's just all sleep. Yeah.
But I remember where I was when I watched that movie, because I almost went up there and said, "Can I get my money back?" I knew a guy that did that one time, and the theater gave him his money back.
Like the movie was so bad that he went in and asked for his money back? They gave it to him?
And you know what it was? Which it was kind of just a weird movie, but it was Edward Scissorhands. Did you remember that movie?
See, I remember the characters, Johnny Depp, right, with the weird fingers. No, I don't know. I don't know what it was about or anything though. Was it? You're saying that was the one that you went to that you hated? Or?
No. I'm talking about Jack and Jill. But I know
yeah.
I had a friend that I was not with him when he did it, but he went and asked for his money back when he watched Edward Scissorhands, and his retelling of the story, they gave him his money back. It was just a strange movie. It was very Johnny Deppish.
Right. Well, yeah. They say he was. When he did Pirates of the Caribbean, they told him not to act so weird. They told him to be like when they were filming, they were like, "Johnny, can you? This is not the character like we want you to play at all. Like you're not doing it right." And that worked out for him. So I'm assuming that's probably what he did with. I mean, Edward Scissorhands sounds stupid. You want to know something crazy? I went to go see Wild Hogs in the movie theaters. I'm sure this is great for everybody, like watching and everything. But thought it was hilarious. Great atmosphere. You like you were saying, you go to the atmosphere of the movie theater, people are laughing.
Yeah.
If it's packed, it's a good time. And then I saw it a second time when it was outside of movie theaters, and I thought it was cheesy.
Yeah, that goes to, and maybe you were were you a different age? Like maybe your taste in comedy had changed.
Maybe. Well, it was like in theaters, and then when it got released on DVD, I was like, this was so much fun. Right, and it's
who you're around also, right? It's who you're around, like that atmosphere. I kind of hate where we're going with movies, and we were already going to streaming and watching it at home, because I believe the human spirit is just best around other people, and we have so many reasons not to be around other people because we have all this convenience right at our fingertips.
Yeah.
Like I know we do this, but it would be better if we were in the same studio together, right? But
Right.
that's not gonna happen. And COVID really pushed. This was already happening, and COVID really sped everything up. And I really kind of hate what it's doing to, you go out to the movies, and as a teenager, that's where you took your date, and
Absolutely.
and you ate the movie popcorn. But one of the things that I hated that the movie studios and the theaters, they kind of like, we'll put it out whenever we want, and we'll release it to DVD, used to, or rent whenever we want. And they really held a lot of control and charged a kind of high prices.
Right. No, I saw that documentary. Did you see it? The Blockbuster one?
Oh yeah, I did.
I was so sad at the end where that guy was explaining, renting a movie was a whole event, especially if it was like a first date, like you
Oh
go,
yeah.
let's go rent a movie. You find out their taste. They find out yours. If you're in different sections, you may want to rethink it, or But yeah, I mean,
we had a Blockbuster here, and it was over in the Kroger area. In the Kroger, when I say here, Lebanon is what I'm talking about. Sometimes I assume, I know not all of the viewers are in Lebanon, but I did not go to that Blockbuster. There used to be up where the Discount Tire is now.
Hollywood Video.
Hollywood Video was my place.
Yes, sir.
Hollywood Video. And it was an event just to go in to pick out the movie. I remember you go up there and you'd be there like an hour and a half.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely.
To pick out the movies because they were seem so ridiculous now, but they was like $2.99 a piece, $3.99 a piece, and you'd rent 3 or 4, so you're spending like $12.
Just exactly on movies that you might watch one of them.
Yeah, and so that was a great documentary, and I'm getting the older I get, I'm shouldn't look the grumpy old man here, but that's my Dana Carvey. Do you remember that? Do you ever hear it? Dana Carvey? Dana Carvey was a guy, a cast member on Saturday Night Live, and he did the grumpy old man. And
gotcha. I gotta check it out.
Yeah, just go to YouTube and grumpy old man Dana Carvey. It was really funny. But what was I saying?
Something about how I'm a better host than Joe or something like that. No, but
well, I remember. I would rather watch a documentary, something that is true, than something that is something that is fiction. My same way with my reading taste, right? I'd rather read a biography or like a self-betterment book or something like that than except for
Jessica Alba's in it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. She was at the AFC game the other day, and they were showing the championship game, the NFC championship game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, with the 49ers and Rams.
It's probably there for Jimmy G.
Well, she was one of the many celebrities, and I'm like, daggum girl, you just keep getting better looking.
It's Jennifer Aniston. There's absolutely.
She is so pretty. But if my wife is watching this, I'm totally not attracted to.
Right.
That.
Yeah. And there's only one woman in your life, Mr. Goolsby. All right. So I got some celebrity birthdays here.
Okay.
Joe is right. People on here does not look like they're famous because I don't know any of them. But let's see. All right, here we go. Are you ready, Mr. Goolsby?
Right. So I'm just competing against myself.
So yeah, that's the deal. So usually, if we don't have a guest on for celebrity birthdays, Joe will just ask me, and he ridicules me when I get it wrong. So I won't do that to you.
Okay, you can do that. I don't care. I'm a tough guy.
All right, I'll do it then.
I'm a tough guy.
So for anybody who doesn't know, celebrity birthdays, you have to guess within 2 years. The record is 6, I believe, set by Chase McCabe. And I'm going to ask Goolsby a person, and he's got to guess within 2 years. Here we go. All right, ready?
All right.
Ariana Grande.
Oh, she's young. 24.
28.
Oh, really?
Yeah, usually we do older people, but today there's a new hip trend on it. Oh, I got one that'll probably stump you. You ready?
Yeah.
Kim Kardashian.
Oh, I just saw where her and her ex-husband are getting in these Instagram fights or whatever.
Her and Kanye.
Yay. He's just yay now. Yay.
Right.
When you read it, it looks like ye.
I know.
Y-E.
Like,
I'm
yeah.
like, who is ye?
Right.
Yay. Kim Kardashian is probably like 42.
41. Very nice. Very, very nice. Good job. Good job. All right. Let's see what else we got here as we scroll down the list. Garth Brooks. How old is Garth Brooks?
Garth Brooks. Okay. Garth Brooks is probably about 55.
He is 65.
What? Are you sure?
Well, let me do some math here because it only gives me the date. February 7th, 1962. What is that, 66?
62. So he is 12 years older than me. So 57, 59.
59?
Yeah.
That was. Look at us.
59.
Helping each other out. All right, one more. Then we'll get out of here. I appreciate the one viewer that's watching us right now. Let's not lose him. All right, here we go. Let's see who else we got. What's your? I did have a question for you though, Goolsby. What's your favorite thing that's been added to Lebanon as far as building wise? Like, I know that's probably a really hard thing to answer, but something that was erected and you're like, wow, this is awesome.
It's not new anymore, but there's going to be a new one, and I think that people are really excited about, and it's like a cult that shops there almost, is Publix.
Right.
Publix people are, and we have a lot of people that move up here from Florida, believe it or not, and for different reasons. One of them being a lot of them have thought they were going to retire down there, and then they have children that move up here, and then those children have grandchildren, and they want to be close, so they move up here. Another reason is a lot of people in Florida want 4 seasons. They're tired. They get down there and it's humid and hot almost year round. And so Florida, Publix is Florida based. And so Florida people are very diehard Publix shoppers. And I say that Publix is the Chick-fil-A of the grocery world.
Literally about to say that. Literally about to say that.
They're so freaking nice there. And they're so helpful. We could all when I come out of a Chick-fil-A or a Publix, I want to be a nicer person.
And I guess they teach that,
it's
when
culture.
I'll get a pub sub, which I love saying that word, pub sub. And they'll say, I saw the manager of the deli counter go on break, and then he ordered a sandwich. So we never really went anywhere. So they all were just like, yeah, I'll cut the meat, let's have a fun party. I'm like, what do you do when you leave? You in Chick-fil-A, go and just sleep in your uniform? I don't know.
Yeah, right.
They are nice, I guess.
They are very, very nice. The deli's awesome too.
Oh, yeah, it is. Absolutely. What's your favorite sandwich there?
I actually like getting the fried chicken. And
oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a good one.
But on Wednesdays, they have a $5 sushi. So it's half price. So I don't know if you like sushi or not. Now, it's not a big selection. It's usually like just a California roll and stuff like that. So it's not any of the fancy stuff like eel. Right. But it's good.
I just don't. I don't. Every time I've eaten sushi, I've liked it, but I just don't know if I like it. You know what I'm saying? Like when I can't order it and then Like I can't say to the waitress, "I want eel."
Yeah.
Just eel, you know. It's like,
Yeah.
but if somebody like says, "Hey, you want to try this?" and I tried, I've always liked it. It's just super confusing.
Yeah. So you can take it or leave it. I get it.
All right, last birthday here, and I know the exact age. So Ashton Kutcher was born today. How old is he?
Ashton Kutcher. I think he's younger than I am. 44.
Wow, right on the nose.
Really?
Right on the nose. Grizzly. You're too good at this. All right, so you've gotten 2. Hold on, let's try to get you the record here. What about Chris Rock? He was born today.
Oh my gosh. One of my funniest, one of my favorite comedians. You know, Chris Rock was he was Chappelle before Chappelle was. You know, Chris Rock was a little bit before Chappelle, and unfortunately, I cannot retell any of his jokes here on the.
Right, I don't think he'd want you to. Anyways,
I do remember one. I do remember one that I can tell. Chris Rock said that they were so poor growing up that they didn't buy new Easter clothes; they just changed churches.
I can hear him saying it in his voice.
Yeah.
Toddler, but I got first introduced to Chris Rock through The Longest Yard, the remake with Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
Funniest character ever. It's like, I'll teach anything, just don't eat me.
Chris Rock, yeah. Chris Rock is probably like 52, maybe.
Close. 57. He does look young for his age, though.
Oh wow! Right. I tell you, man, those comedians, when you realize they get up there and it's an art form where they get up and to the viewer, it seems like they're just talking randomly.
Right. No, I'm doing this today for Joe, or like in place of Joe, has made me realize it's really hard. It's really tough to just sit there and like speak. I can imagine being on a stage with lights in your face. You can't see. You can't see them, but you know everybody's just looking at you, and you have to make them laugh.
Those when we see the Netflix special, like I watched Nate Bargatze, who is, you know, one of our Middle Tennesseans,
local grown.
Yeah, and his dad, Tom Bargatze, is a magician that also works for the TSSAA and doing outreach for them. So
That's awesome.
They practice that so much, and they cut material and edit just like you would when you're writing a paper for college, and they just practice that, and they go to smaller clubs and try out material, and if it bombs, they cut it out.
Right.
They piece together it's this body of work, man, and they practice hours and hours and hours, and it is a beautiful art form.
Definitely is. I guess if me coming in here thinking I was going to kill this would be like just walking up to bat in the MLB, being like, I'm going to crank this one.
Dude, I'll tell you, there was a guy here in town. His name was, I believe his name was Jeff Bennett. And he played for the Sounds and got called up to the big leagues, played for the Brewers for a while, and he was a pitcher. And he may still live around here, and somebody might can comment on the when they watch the replay of this.
I'm sure everyone will,
and they will. They will for sure. I'm going to share it.
I'll put the thumbnail of me and yours face.
Yeah, so there you go. But I was trying to get him one time. I was like, is there any way I could just stand and then pretend like I was a batter and let you throw, you know, a ball so I can see just how fast it is, because, you know,
right.
he was known as a fast pitcher. And so that just, and I'm sure
who's that we're talking about again? What's his name?
Jeff Bennett, I think was his name. Yeah. Google it. Yeah. But yeah, I would just imagine, I don't know how do you even see the ball? I kind of got into baseball this past year with the Braves. I got it at the end of the regular season. I got into it, baseball, which I normally don't, and then I watched all the way through
Right.
to the end, and I really got into it. And I'm just sitting there, and when I used to umpire some softball, and when you'd have girls throwing 45, 50 miles an hour, which is pretty fast
Oh yeah.
for softball because the distance is so short between
Right.
them. And as an umpire, a lot of times you can't really see the ball. You hear the ball, and then you look to see where the catcher catches it
So if they're good framing,
to figure out where if it was a strike or not. So how do you even hit the ball? It is
honestly.
amazing to me. And then you get these professional pitchers that's got all this movement on these different pitchers, and I'm just like,
Yeah, the ones that like throw like this.
yeah. And these balls are dying and curving and all that stuff. It is amazing. I think even though I'm a football guy,
Right.
I would say probably as far as major sports, um, that baseball has some of the finest athletes in the world.
Definitely.
When you consider that they're taking this little bat and hitting a ball that's being thrown at 90 something miles an hour,
At a
that's
way they
being,
don't know where it's coming from.
and don't know where it's going to, and they don't know if it's going to be a curveball or a fastball or a slider, and it's got all this
Right.
movement on it. And I think probably right up there with them or basketball. When you consider, when you see these guys that can jump and hit 3-pointers and do all this stuff, it's just. Do you watch? Have you been following Ja Morant over in Memphis? Do you watch?
Yeah, man. I see him all over Twitter. Excuse me. And he is a monster.
Yeah, and
That dude is crazy. I mean, some of the highlights, I'm like, was he like, is that a drawn up play?
yeah. And did you know he's only like 6'1", and he can just jump. He can almost touch the top of the backboard. And he played at Murray State up in Kentucky. He played at
Oh, that's awesome. That was my golf coach's alumni.
That's who?
That was my golf coach's alumni.
Oh,
Shout
yeah.
out to Coach Walker.
Murray State, which is the bane of Murray State is like the bane of Belmont's existence, because it's usually Murray State or Belmont that you have to win that tournament to get into the NCAA, and so Murray State is usually the one that Belmont has to try to get past to get in. So
Murray, that one guy from DCA just signed with Murray State, right? Who's that wide receiver that was really good for them?
I'm not sure.
Well, congratulations to him. I know I should have his name. If I was going to bring it up, I should have known. But but speaking on the baseball thing, yeah. Also, hockey players, those guys are crazy athletic in a different way. It's like they're like the UFC fighters of sports to me. Which I mean, I know UFC's a sport, but
right. Well, and I mean, they have to learn to skate, and
yeah,
and that's not a natural thing. Where running is a natural thing, baseball, basketball, football, but they have to learn to skate. Weird. I don't know why I'm telling this publicly. I used to, and I'm not a big hockey fan, but I used to have a recurring dream that I had suddenly become a member of the Predators, and that I was playing ice hockey, and I was like, in my dream, I'd be like, "Oh, this is so amazing! This is amazing! I'm playing hockey," and I'd be out there skating, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, when did I learn how to skate?"
If there is anybody watching, I want everybody to be picturing this as he's talking about it.
I don't have it anymore, but I had this dream for like over the course of 2 years that I would just be a hockey player, and I also had a recurring dream that tornadoes were chasing me. I would run.
One of these things is going to happen.
Well, the tornadoes kind of basically this is back before the tornadoes that hit here. But I used to have this dream that I would run into a home and the tornado would come and wipe away the home, and then I would get up and start running to another one, and it would just follow me everywhere.
Bad wolf.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right. There's really something cool and neat about dreams. And
no, I agree. I wish they say you can't remember any of them, but Goolsby, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for coming in and saving me. I think everybody that was watching it up to the point of you not being on here would say the same exact thing. So collectively, thank you.
You're welcome. Next time, let me know before.
Definitely. No, I will.
Before.
I definitely will. We could tackle it together.
All right.
All right, man. Hey, Goolsby, take it easy, buddy.
All right. See you, man. Have a good Monday.
Thanks, man. You too. And there you have it, folks. That is Mornings on Main Street, hosted by yours truly, the intern. Remember, wave at people, let people over in traffic. I think Joe says he wants you to brag about your CrossFit workout, especially if it's for charity. And don't forget, nobody ever went broke by giving. We'll see you tomorrow, and Joe will be your host.